So I'm going to go through the basics and then ideas of what you can do with a blended roll. Now it's also called a split foundation because you're splitting the colors, rainbow rolled or blended roll. With this ink, I'm going to try to do more transparent type of ones because I want to go over some prints that I've already made. So I'm going to use the extender, put a bunch of that out. And from what Jean is telling me about this ink, that it's very highly pigmented. So a little goes a long way. So I'm just going to do a tiny smidge of blue. Ooh, that's way too big. And maybe I'll do like an orange. So I'm going to mix my red and yellow. Oops. Off camera. Sorry. The one thing that I like to do is warm the ink up before I use it, and that just helps it roll way easier. So I'm going to make that base. I'm going to mix this for my orange.
Heather,
Yes.
what did you mean by warm the ink up? How would you do that?
Oh, let's see. Let me move my camera here. Woohoo. So I got them going. I mix them together and I'm smashing it down. And then I'm twirling and I'm mixing it. And so it's the process of just smooching the ink around. And when you do it, you can feel it get looser, more oily. So I got that color. And I'm just going to use that. And so here's another example. Here's some of that transparent base, and I'm just going to tip in that blue. So see, just a very little tiny corner of that blue to a ton of that extender. This is going to be like ocean into sunset type of blended roll. So this is me warming it up. So warming up is just more like mixing, just mixing it together. Okay. So I got some there, I got some there. Now, with a blended roll, the one thing you have to remember is you have to have your roller bigger, if possible, than your plate. So this roller I have is what the 3-inch, or probably 4, because this is 4x6. So it is just exactly the same size. If it was a little bit bigger, it would be better to do, I think. But just for the sake of demos, I'm going to do that. I got ink all over it already. Messy. Okay, so here's the magic part. Let me make sure I have you able to see that. Okay. So I know I'm making a mess here, so I'm going to clean that up. Okay. So I know my wood block is this size. So I got to decide, I'm going to roll down that way. If I did this way, it's not going to, I mean, I could do it, but it's not going to be very even. So it has to be this way. So I want to just note that I'm going to do right down the middle. So my blue, it's going to be on this side. And then my orange will be over here. And so see how I have the middle, there's nothing really in the middle. Just put my dirty fingernail there. So I'm going to just take it and roll. I'm not going to just take it and go back and forth, because see, I'm not hitting I want my roller on that roll to move. So I go down and I go up, down, up, down, up. Now, this blue seems like it needs a little bit more. So I'm going to put that there. And so nothing's in the middle right now. I could roll this on a plate and have that bare part in the middle. Now that it's warming up and spreading out, you see how that middle part is disappearing. So now I take my roller and I just move over a smidge, like vacuuming a carpet. You don't want straight lines. You're going to move over, and then I move my roller this way and try to get that. If I want, a little bit more transition, then I move it over. I'm moving it to this side, and then I'm rolling over and moving it to this side. It's a beautiful thing. And you can do this with many colors. You can do this with like 6 colors if you want to. So this is what my roller looks like. You got the red and the blue. And so then on my plate, this is the part that you have to really get right. I'm going to line it up, and I'm just going to go straight down. I'm going to get more ink. I'm going to just keep doing it. I want to get that line out of there too. So when you all were rolling the other one, you were going this way and this way and this way to get everything done. No, you have to be very mechanical and do the exact same thing. You can't move your brayer. Look at how beautiful that the blue on the wood grain looks. It looks like an ocean. Which, if I had my way, instead of being an artist, I would have been a surfer. I think that's magic. Okay, so let's try to print this. So I have this. I'm going to dry this off. All those baby wipes are kind of magic here for me. So I'm going to put my plate down. Now my paper, this is the fun part right here. So I could choose just to put this down and print it, and I'll have that nice rainbow foundation roll. But just to make this demo worthwhile a little bit more, I'm going to put a stencil on. And so you can see how you can combine stencil work with these split foundation, these rainbow rolls. These little tiny pieces of wood are just a dream to print. They're so tiny. And a peek. And remember, I put that extender in there, so I want a light blue. So let's just see if I do that. And then I have this, I could shinkle onto something if I wanted to. So you can see what that blended roll will do. It has that transition that's really nice. On a lot of your guys' work, I could see where that would be beneficial. So one thing I was thinking about too, especially Charlie, when you had yours that you were showing everybody. Sorry, my thing keeps moving. I'm going to ink this up again. I'm going to put a little bit more blue because it just seemed a little wimpy next to that red. Make sure my roller is still doing the same thing here. You know, one thing I wanted to try too, I'm gonna have like a little bit of yellow right here. A little bit of yellow. I'm gonna just try something. I'm gonna see if I can just make a green on the very edge of my roller. There we go. See how you can modify this super quick? The reason why I like these blended rolls is because it has like, I don't want to say a democracy and an efficiency to printing. Why print one color when you can print 3? So here's the thing. I have the green, blue, orange over here. I could just go straight down here and make a blended roll lines. But I want to take advantage of this shape. I want to try going around. I want to have the inside be a bright color. So I'm going to do it in the round, it's called. Which means I'm going around. You got to just keep track of where your ink is on that roller. Make sure you have enough. You do this 2 or 3 times to a plate, and then your plate will be wanting to grab a hold of that ink. So see, Charlie, this like aorta heart shape kind of makes sense for what I was talking about. But then the yellow is staying on the inside.
Yeah, that looks great.
Isn't that kind of cool? I've seen this done when people do like flowers or something like that, where they want the inside. And of course, if this was a real piece, I'd spend a lot more time, but I'm just gonna do this super quick. See how I could just flip that? Go super fast. There. That's way easier than trying to carve multi-blocks. You're just doing this super quick.
Yeah,
So
that texture, that wood texture looks really good.
yeah, this is that paper in that paper pack.
Oh,
It's really beautiful. And yes, this is the vinyl. So that vinyl has that
Oh, okay.
real, yeah, it has that real
I see
moth
what you
fold.
mean.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're on this plate. Oh, I love that. That looks beautiful. Of course, though, it didn't come out in the print as much because I didn't have enough pressure. If you want that wood tone to come out even more, if the paper was damp, you could get a little bit more of that. Let's see. I wanted to also show you another idea. So let's just say, I'll do more of this. I'll put some more of this red in there. See how this roller gets a little confused with itself because now I moved it over. And so you can really create a muddy mess. But I like this experimenting with it, and it's so fast. Why not? So I can also, I'm going to tip this one with yellow and green on that side. See if I can get something fun. Kind of a hot mess, but see how it just expands and expands. So here's my plate again. I could do this, but it's not going to hit that top one. So I got to decide which part of my roll that I want. And so I think I want to do this. I lift up, down, up, down. The hard part is knowing how much ink to actually put on these plates. And so the more prints you make, the more you have. And plus, you can make ghost prints really easy, and we're going to use those next week. So the more ghost prints you have, the more lined up for next week you'll be too. So I wanted to show you this. This is like a vellum or tracing paper. You can kind of see my dirty hands under it. This is a nice example of more unconventional papers. And there are some of y'all that I think would be good with this. This is kind of nice because you can actually see it printing. Sometimes that vinyl, you gotta print. It's really hard to get that modeling out of it. But so here we have the ink sitting on it on the front. And then this is a good one for text. If you accidentally write text in the right way on your plate and it prints backwards, you can just turn this around and you see it. What's also nice with it is you can then put it over top another print and think about that. So instead of like, you could present it this way, or you can use it as a test of like, oh, I like how that looks on this print. You can mark where it's going to be and then actually print it knowing full well what's going to happen. I think that should cover it. The main thing is just experiment. While you have the ink out, try all different types of things. Like on this, I'm going to go back into this and try a different plate, one that I don't think makes sense with it, but I'm going to try it anyway.